Really weird stuff. That's very weird.
Really Weird Stuff is a holistic Twin Peaks podcast. That means we discuss each episode within the context of the series as a whole. In other words, spoilers abound. Welcome to Really Weird Stuff, episode 22, wherein we discuss Twin Peaks Season 2, episode 14, Double Play.
Ooh.
This episode was written by Scott Frost, brother to Mark, and directed by a special director guest, Uli Edel, who is best known for directing the films Last Exit to Brooklyn and Body of Evidence.
Oh.
Do you remember Body of Evidence?
That's Madonna with the wax, yeah.
With the wax. The one with the wax.
Is Last Exit to Brooklyn like the gang rape Jennifer Jason Leigh movie or something? Maybe not.
I don't know. I don't remember it. I think it was nominated for an Academy Award or some shit.
Let's look it up.
Goog here.
Let's pause and watch Last Exit.
Yeah.
Little X-rated shout out. I can't see anything on my
1989 movie. So he'd just done that. And he hadn't yet done Body of Evidence. Jennifer Jason Leigh. Homosexual factory worker and a teenage hooker symbolize the damned in 1952 Brooklyn.
That's insane. That what an insane recap. Then it must be the movie I'm thinking of. Yikes.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, well, there was
Odd
something...
career.
Oh, that's a sarcasm in it.
Aw.
And Jerry Orbach. There was something about it that I guess Lynch liked. It's you're in, or somebody did. I think Lynch and Frost. I think they choose their directors. I'm going to go with that.
I don't think so. Showrunner chooses director.
Yeah. Oh, it originally aired on February 2nd, 1991. And I forgot to mention that I'm Jessica Baxter.
Oh, I'm Annie Malone.
And joining us
yay.
to talk about this kind of a bummer of an episode
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
is my wonderful husband, Chris Brugos. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Thank you for joining us.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yay! We're so happy to have you.
Yeah.
This episode opens on the night of Friday, March 17th and continues
Ooh, St. Patrick's
through
Day.
the Saturday, March 18th, 1989. We're still in 1989 in this
Okay.
world here. Should we just get right into it? It's just,
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Let's just talk about it. We can talk about it.
It opens in Harry's office on a close-up of a piece of bloodied tape over a mouth belonging to a drifter. Still played by Kyle MacLachlan's brother, Craig.
That's why he looks a little like Cal.
He looks a little bit like Kyle MacLachlan. He really just has to lie there and play a dead body for a good long period of time.
Yeah, he's there a while.
Yeah.
He's posed.
Yeah, his fingers pointing to the chest piece.
Pawn in his mouth.
Apparently you can see him blinking or his eyes moving at some points. I didn't notice, but some eagle-eyed viewers were like...
He's not really dead.
Oh, yeah. Well,
They didn't really kill his brother.
Full body cast of Craig MacLachlan. Not on this TV budget.
The chest piece in his mouth really bothers me.
Bothers me.
It's gross. Yeah.
I mean, he's dead.
I know.
It looks gross. It's got like that furry felt part.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of what Buffalo Bob did to his... Buffalo Bill did to his victims in Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Stuff in the caterpillar down there.
I don't like it.
It's pretty messed up. They're definitely going for a... did we find out when Silence of the Lambs came out?
No, we never found it.
It's the exact same time.
About the exact same time? 1991.
Ah,
actually.
yeah, same time.
Yeah, oh wait, what fucking month? February. Oh my god. February 14th. So this episode aired on the February 2nd, and then Silence of the Lambs came out on Valentine's Day.
My
what
gosh. What a lovely movie. Date night.
Actually, that would have been a great date night. Go to see Silence of the Lambs on Valentine's Day.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah. It's great. It was influenced by this episode, I think.
Well, that's a quick turnaround.
They did a bunch of reshoots in
12 days. They made this movie in 12 days.
Again, it was in the zeitgeist, stuffing things in people's mouths.
Serial killers. I think,
Serial
maybe.
killers.
Was there some serial killer?
I think so.
Abound at the time.
In the early 90s?
Yeah.
Wait, was there a serial killer that?
Yeah. We were just thinking fondly on serial killers at the time.
I feel like the serial killers were more like in the 80s, like Son of Sam and the other guy.
Yeah.
The guy who killed all the kids in Atlanta.
In California, there was a guy they called the Night Stalker.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
He had a very scary police sketch, and I was scared of him when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I always thought I could see him from my window.
I was scared of Son of Sam because he was on the East
Boston
Coast.
guy.
Yeah. No, he was New York.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Ted Bundy went to our alma mater.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
University of Puget Sound.
Yuck.
There was a rumor that he buried one of his bodies under the fountain by the science building. Because apparently, like, during that time, the foundation was being laid for the fountain, like they're building a fountain. But I don't know. I mean, obviously I have no idea.
Let's go check.
They love to say that. We'll just tell them we're alumni and they'll let us do whatever we want.
Yes, that's true. Weird that no one else has ever thought of that before.
Anyways,
Oh, right.
This killer is one Windom Earl.
Oh boy, he went to a lot of trouble to do
yes.
this. My
So much
God,
trouble.
he's so extra, this guy. Everything he does, I'm like, the logistics are so questionable.
They are. I don't understand how he can carry massive amounts of weight. This is before he recruits Leo to carry stuff around for him. He carried that body all the way there.
Carrying a dead body. You know, like when you pick up a kid who's asleep and they're heavier and people are like, that's dead weight. Yeah, that's heavier.
I mean, Craig McLachlan is probably about the same height as Kyle McLachlan.
Yeah, Windom Earl's
A
short.
taller man.
I feel like it would be so hard to move a dead body.
And then pose it.
When I see that little tiny window, he carried him through the window. I'm like, no, he didn't.
Footprints, 2 sets, same boots, one coming, one leaving. Heavier impressions on the way down. Carrying the body.
Coop, are you sure Windom Earl is behind this?
He might have shoved him through that window.
Right, and
It's not like he leapt through the window. with the
Did
body
he have to do it in the dark, right? Like, wasn't it like he made the power go out or something?
Earl engineered the explosion that caused the power outage. He created a diversionary fire that drew everyone out of the station, brought the body in through this window.
He did all
Probably had
this
some
in
sort
the
of light with him, but yeah.
Still.
Yeah. And quickly. He did it very quickly. Because, like,
God.
the power went out, and then Lucy went outside and made some phone calls. Like, she was even still in the building when he was doing that, which is... I don't feel like she's appropriately freaked out about that.
Right?
All episode, she's look not freaked out about things.
She's just annoyed. She's, like, rolling her eyes all over the place.
When Major Briggs passes out in front of her, she then checks her makeup.
Yeah.
Right.
It's pretty funny.
Coop can still feel Wyndham's presence.
God.
Yikes. And then he knows immediately what happened. He's like, says the whole thing about he'll find his car, he picked the drifter up, he knows everything. And then he knows
the stab wounds.
the stab wound.
Yeah.
He's not surprised to see it.
Doc, if you lift up the victim's shirt, I believe you find a stab wound 1 inch beneath the sternum, penetrating upward, severing the aorta.
I'm surprised that Harry is actually a little bit astute in this scene. Like, he says to Coop, you've seen this before.
See, I feel like that's obvious. Like,
It's obvious, but Harry is usually so dense.
Right. But see, I feel like he was being dense in the scene, and he says something like, are you sure it's Windom Earl? Like, obviously, he's sure.
Yeah, he just has to ask that.
It's either that he's seen this before or he did it himself.
Right.
So,
Right.
unless you want to accuse him of murder, you'd be like, so, tell me about this.
Yeah. Well, there's no way in hell Harry would do that.
Right.
No,
They have
they're
such
flirting.
boners for each other in this scene.
Their coffee talk.
Oh my gosh, I want it, Harry.
Harry, I want it.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Yes, we said the chess piece in his mouth. Coop gives it to Andy to dust for prints. It's already been in his mouth.
I know. There could be a print on it.
There could be.
And Andy's sure to find it.
Right.
Oh, but he does say you won't find any prints. Like,
Oh, right.
this is going to be a very clean crime scene. Anything left behind was left behind on purpose, including the lodgepole pine.
Douglas fir, Harry?
Lodgepole pine.
Harry knows all about trees, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the right man to ask in the pilot about the trees. Little did Coop know.
In this scene, they're using flashlights to light everything.
Yeah, and Coop is holding the flashlight like right under his face, like he's telling a spooky campfire story.
The whole first 3 scenes are all during the blackout that Windom Earl has caused.
Yes.
And I really like when everyone in the whole town is experiencing one sort of event at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
In
Oh
this
yeah,
case,
at the Great Northern there's candles everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, Shelly is in the dark being attacked by Leo. I think there's other shows that have done that kind of thing. A lot of times it's just raining everywhere, so everyone's in a heavy rain every scene.
Yeah.
I always like it when it's consistent that way.
Unifies the world.
Yeah,
a
I don't
little
know.
bit.
I think it's nice in this opening bit.
And it is raining everywhere in this episode, except where James is, which I did notice that. It's funny you mentioned the rain, because I noticed it cuts to a lake, and I was like, oh, it's not raining anymore, and then it was James, and I was like, oh, it's because they're
He's out west.
Yeah, where it's not raining.
I thought he was driving east, but I forgot that Twin Peaks isn't Seattle.
Yeah, if he drives east, he's not in Washington anymore.
Right.
It's confusing. You think of Twin Peaks as North Bend.
Right,
It's not.
exactly.
Right.
Because that's where they shoot it. Or did shoot it. A lot of it. Exteriors.
Oh my god.
Sorry. Oh, and also, it'd be remiss not to mention that Doc Hayward is there.
Oh, right.
How long has he been dead? It's hard to say. We need an autopsy.
Doc Hayward is really on my last nerve on this
Forensics
episode.
expert. And
Yeah.
there's plenty of reaction shots of him, too. Well,
Right.
I noticed
talking the story.
his reaction shot when he lifts up the shirt to find the aorta stab.
Yeah.
And he makes a real disgusted look. Is you a doctor?
Right.
It's not great in this episode.
He's, oh god, it's
A
so
nuisance.
much. He's so, I know. And then he has a hat on in the double R, and it's very annoying.
Oh, are you a men should take their hats off when they go inside kind of person?
I mean, not always, but I don't see why he has that hat on.
It's part of his outfit.
Brings the whole episode.
No, then I like it even less.
He is wearing diamonds on his sweater. At least the next day.
Diamonds
The
on his
next
sweater?
day. He has diamonds on his sweater. So
What?
is
Like
there...
it's bedazzled?
No,
Like,
like
a
a
pattern,
diamond pattern.
Argyle
Like an
pattern.
Argyle?
Kind of, but it's not Argyle.
Okay.
Alright.
It's just diamonds. And Lucy also has some diamonds on her sweater.
Oh, is that a
So
motif?
is double play a baseball term?
Yes.
What does it mean?
Is when you get 2 outs from 1 at bat.
Okay. How do we think it relates to this episode?
Well,
I do not know.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's think about that, I guess. 2 outs
Yeah.
with 1 bat.
Yeah, well.
2 person post down.
Evelyn's trying to get
with 1 at bat.
With 1 at bat. 2 outs with 1 bat.
technically true.
But there's definitely some kind of baseball metaphor going on here. With the diamonds, and
Yeah.
then later with James, and the listening to some sort of sporting event.
We're not any closer to understanding
The
title
double
Yeah.
play
of
of the
this
title,
I think
yeah.
we're just gonna keep it in our
Yeah.
in our caps as we go along and see if anything
Right.
reveals itself. First, we're gonna go to the fireplace at the Great Northern Dining Room, where Audrey and Bobby are having drinks of some sort.
Yeah.
Hopefully not alcohol.
That have ice in them.
Yeah, so she can do her ice metaphor.
It's very weird.
She melts that ice real fast.
It's instantly. I mean, it's a little piece, but it is like,
She has hot hands.
yeah.
I would expect
That's good. I mean,
She's
it
a
hurts
hot
to
lady.
hold ice
It
in your
does.
hand. Don't they tell you that, like, in birth class?
Yes,
Yeah.
Exactly what I was
Totally
thinking.
Totally what labor feels
Mhm.
like.
Right. You can breathe through it.
Yeah.
But she quickly melts
Yeah,
it
she
with her
melts
hands.
that ice fast.
She's a hot tamale. She says a bunch of funny things.
Like, he flipped his wig.
Daddy flipped his wig. He's in limbo land. She asks Bobby if he wants to get rich, and he says immediately.
Yeah, why does this teenager care so much about getting rich? That's so weird.
Well, he wants
He's got money
he
problems.
wants money for Shelly.
Oh, yeah.
Even though he's flirting with Audrey, I think he just can't help it because
Mm.
she's just so beautiful. But she's not interested in that. She just wants his help.
Our job now is to help my father come back from limbo land before he melts away and leaves us with a handful of nothing. So from now on, Bobby, I'm the one you suck up to.
What about Shelly?
What about Shelly?
When he says, "What about
He
Shelly?"
says,
and
"What
she
about
says, "What about Shelly?"
Yeah.
I think she just means it's not relevant. Like,
Right.
you're still dating Shelly. We're not fucking.
And she's introducing the next scene, which is really cool. Because then we go check in on Shelly.
That's true. What about Shelly?
Oh, Shelly.
I guess I should just say, though, that she wants him to help her bring Daddy back from the brink of madness before he loses everything.
Why would Bobby be the one to do that?
Just because he's there, I guess.
Yeah.
And
She needs help. Okay, yeah.
And she grabs his face. But it's not like in a creepy Lynch way.
Right.
It's just like a, this is important, Bobby, kind of way.
Yeah.
It's like the only time anyone grabs someone's face that's not, like, disturbing in this world, I think.
Yeah.
Except for a tender kiss or something.
I thought there was somebody who grabbed a face recently that was not a bad guy.
Oh, yeah. I feel like there was, yeah.
We talked about it, but
Yeah.
I'm forgetting now.
Someone did a
Go back
nice,
to the records.
a
This
nice
is their
face
old
grab, I
podcast.
think. Yeah.
Yes, pick up the energy for this scary scene at the Johnson house.
Yikes.
Where Shelly is scared out of her wits.
Yes.
Leo's talking with her. He's mad, but he can barely stand. He's like, every
Right.
time we see him, he's leaning on something, but
Yeah.
he's still somehow so powerful.
I do remember specifically watching this at the time it aired with my brother. I have to mention every episode, I guess.
you do.
And his friend Jim Fritz in the scene. They're like, okay, he would be so atrophied.
Yeah, I
Like-
mean, unless he's been, like, walking around without her knowing it for a
Maybe.
while.
Yeah, he's very stiff. He's like, his legs seem to not work very well.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of upper body strength because he can punch through a window.
I'm surprised he even makes it out of there and gets anywhere from there.
He walks a long way. I think
Yeah.
the girl's cabin is very deep in the woods.
And he has, a stab wound in his leg.
He's got some kind of superhuman stuff going on. Because he
Yeah.
also, he picks Shelly up with one arm and throws her over the kitchen table.
Yeah.
And even though he's, leaning on something before, he's able to hold Bobby up against the wall with an axe.
Yeah.
Axe handle.
Yeah, he's doing a pull-up in reverse with Bobby.
Yeah.
It's a really difficult
Yeah.
way to choke somebody.
Yeah.
It is. I can only assume Bobby's on an apple box or something under there, but we're meant to believe that Leo is pushing him up with the strength of his own arms.
Mm-hmm.
So he's being motivated. I think we're also supposed to believe that he's being motivated by some evil forces.
Oh,
Maybe.
really?
Well, that's what I think all the flapping plastic is about at the end.
It is.
And the owl's around when,
And the owl.
there's
Oh,
the
that's
owl
true. The owl's
right
kinda
there.
going,
The owl is, yeah.
There's an owl really going.
Yeah.
Windom is calling to him, basically. Because
But-
Windom is already kind of connected to the Black Lodge at this point.
Oh, is he? I know he's trying to...
He's been doing some stuff.
He's trying to get into the Black Lodge.
Well, they're keeping an eye on him. I mean, they know what's going on.
The Black Lodge people do?
Yeah. Because there's an owl outside his cabin as well.
Okay.
It might be the same owl. Leads him from his house to Windom's cabin.
Oh. Well, that explains how he got there.
Yeah. But he did have to walk a long way.
Seems like a real coincidence.
Yeah. The only thing that really bothers me about this scene is that Shelly stabs the plastic, and instead of just diving right through the obviously large enough gap, she just yells out, and he has time to grab her.
Right.
And he is right on her really fast, but she doesn't even try to get through.
Right.
And then Bobby
I thought
gets
she was
through.
trying to get through.
You did?
Yeah.
I mean, Bobby gets through and Leo gets through.
Yeah. So definitely.
So only the
Slip
tiniest
in the
person. It does feel like it's to draw out the scene, but Shelly kind of just sitting there a lot. Get up,
After he...
Or they're
knocks her
reaching
over
for the
with
knife.
wheelchair.
And I guess, it's...
Stand up! You don't have to just reach for it.
Or
get
don't
up and
they have another knife? Go back to
Right.
the drawer and get another knife.
She has a favorite knife.
I can only
Everybody
stab you with
does.
my favorite knife. Maybe they only have one sharp knife, and that was that. I can imagine that. They have a bunch of dull knives. She's like, I can't use the one that tears the onions and makes me cry. I have to use my one sharp knife. I gotta find it. Also, how did he lock all the doors from the inside?
Yes, I did wonder that. How is she locked in?
From the inside.
Yeah.
It's not safe.
Why can't
It's a fire
how
hazard.
how did he lock all the doors from the outside? I guess is what I mean. Why was she unable to open the door?
There are some deadbolts. This is... You don't see this much anymore, but deadbolts where you have to use a key on both sides.
Yeah.
Really?
So if you're inside the house, usually you just kind of leave the key in there all the time.
Right.
Why would
Yes.
everyone
I actually used to have in the room that's Logan's room, that door had that kind of lock where it needed a key on both sides, and we changed it like right away. I think it was like the guy who did the inspection, or somebody was like, do not leave that way, that's a fire. This was somebody who was like, my brother is a firefighter and has found literally like people dead on the floor in a door like this. And I think he was even saying like there was a push to get that outlawed because it's such a fire hazard. You should not be able to get locked into your own house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had one in my house. Our back door into our backyard had a deadbolt that you had to have a key to open from the inside. It didn't have like a switch.
Yeah, that really does seem like a very bad idea.
Yeah.
That seems like one of those renovations they should take care of at the Johnson house right away.
Yes.
There's
Well,
a
yes.
lot of things you could be doing instead of threatening Shelly.
Right. Goodbye, wife.
Goodbye, wife. I like that he throws like a sock full of soap at her,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which was a callback
It
to
is.
when
That's
he
what
used.
I said earlier.
Andy reminded me. It's a callback to that.
Yeah.
And,
And it kind of says, like, I'm not quite strong enough to beat you. Let's open this up.
I think he's saying, I'm not just going to beat you. I'm
This
not
isn't
gonna
just a
kill
soap
you."
in a sock
Right.
transgression anymore. This is, I'm about to kill you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why he has the axe.
Really scary, yes.
In contrast to the soap in a sock.
And the goodbye.
Goodbye, wife.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Goodbye, wife. And then he says goodbye to Bobby also.
I feel like that's such a thing that abusive people like refer to their wife like wife a lot. It's weird.
Yeah, it definitely has a very possessive.
I mean, that's a
Right.
strange thing to say.
My
Like,
wife.
yeah,
Mhm.
not her name, you know.
Right.
Right, yeah. It is.
It's kind of jarring. I think it's definitely on purpose.
Yeah.
Written that way. It's one of
Oh,
the
for sure.
few pieces of good writing, I think, in this episode.
This is a rough episode, yeah. It's
Well-
also funny that and then Bobby's like, everything's okay now. He's gone.
Everything's okay, baby. Oh, God.
He's gone. He won't ever
Yeah.
do that. And he won't. There's no way Bobby could know that.
Right. It's, yeah.
It's not very believable that everything's okay now. I don't think he even believes it when he
No.
says it.
He's looking at the spooky
Right.
flapping plastic when he says it, and he's
Right.
like, oh yeah, this doesn't seem okay, but you just have to say that, I guess. What
Yeah.
else can you say?
Right.
Yeah.
We're
Be
so
in
fucked.
terror forever.
Yeah.
This man will never stop haunting you.
Ugh. Well, I'm glad you have that information about the lock, because I was very perplexed about that. It didn't make any sense to
I
me.
don't know why, you could get out.
Yeah, I was just like, seems like a dumb horror movie trope. Thing.
I'm really glad that because I didn't remember that she stabbed the plastic and was trying to escape that way. Because if she hadn't done that, it would have been very annoying. You cannot be locked in a house that is made of plastic.
Right.
Oh, right.
Right.
If she was like, I can't get out, I would have been like, just go through the walls.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good point.
You can fit through those walls. They are 18 inches apart, each one of those.
Yeah. She can super fit. Back at the police station, it's now morning, and Coop and Harry are drinking coffee.
And I fucking each other.
Oh my God. They
The
are
scene
so
is
hot for
hot.
each other, these two.
Coop touches his face where he was cut by Jean Renault and tells Harry that he spoke to Denise and he's cleared of all criminal charges, but he's still suspended from the FBI until he hears from Gordon, and Harry's like, that's alright, because he's still my deputy if you want it.
Well, in the meantime, you're still my deputy. If you want this case, it's yours.
Harry, I want it.
Yeah, I want it. Harry, I want it.
Coop wants it so bad.
Right. Like, who,
I don't think he's looked at any of his female co-stars the way he looks at Harry in this scene.
right.
You've directed people before. Do you have to have them sit or stand closer than they normally would in order to get
It's
shots?
Called
Sometimes?
cheating. It's like a
Yeah.
common practice. I think it's part of the soap opera vibe. Because in soaps, that's kind of how that originated.
Close talking.
Yeah, like really close talking. I mean, a lot of soaps are very close shots of faces.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, I don't know. But,
And this scene is really jarring to me how close they are to each other.
but they always talk that close.
They do. I've noticed it before.
Mhm.
This is just one of those scenes where they do, and it's really apparent when they cheers with their coffee mugs
Because they barely
they
Yes.
barely have room to do it.
Cheers.
They're like, our dicks are already touching.
right.
My God, I know. Weird. But I think it's just part of the style, of the soap opera style. And it is established that they talk to each other that way.
Yeah.
Since day one.
Gentlemen, stand together.
Look at your marks. There are two X's on top of each other. And then Hawk comes in and says that he found the car, just like Coop said, and he also bears the news that Hank Jennings was not at the dead dog farm drugged by because he was in the hospital, and he claims he got hit by a bus, which Coop kind of snort laughs about.
Right.
It's a funny response. Like, he doesn't usually do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where he's just so amused by something he can't help but laugh.
It's like they hate Hank, and I guess he knows he was not hit by a bus. You know, a bus hit a pedestrian in Twin Peaks, and the cops didn't hear about it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right.
Yeah, he's just delighted by whatever hurt Hank is probably Hank's fault. So
yes,
in this case, it is
that Hank's cover story. Like that.
Dumb, yeah.
Yes, and that like whatever it is, it's like more embarrassing than being hit by a bus.
I can't say that because I know a very nice person who was hit by a bus.
And then Hawk has lots of news, right? Because he also tells him about Leo. Who called and told him?
Oh,
how did
Shelly called.
She said Leo came to last night, attacked her, and ran off into the woods.
So they're all caught up on that. It's interesting that they don't make any effort to find Leo.
Right.
They're like, all right.
Well, I mean, I guess he's not going to be charged with anything, right?
Well, like, he wasn't going to be charged with anything because he was not fit to be charged. But now that he's up and about, it seems like...
All right. So there still are charges pending against him?
There should be.
I don't remember.
But they never come back to that.
I mean, he just threw Shelly. He should be charged with some sort of assault and battery.
He should.
It doesn't seem like she mentioned it.
I don't think she mentioned it. Then she was like, he woke up and ran away. That's all that happened. Don't worry about it.
I don't know why I'm even calling.
Good, because we're not going to do anything.
All right. Good talk.
Some classic cop stuff.
Yeah. Call us back if he tries to murder you again.
Tell us when you're dead.
In the lobby of the police station, Annie's talking to Lucy and trying to pull his rubber glove off. Is that what he's trying to do? Or put him on? I can't tell.
Off.
Off?
He's gotten stupider.
Yeah. He really has. He gets one off and it flies, sticks to the window. It's gross. Why is it so sticky? And he tells Lucy that he thinks little Nicky murdered his parents. And Lucy is like, that's fucking dumb.
Right.
We think he murdered his parents.
He's 9 years old.
I know. We think he was 6 at the time of the crime.
The both of you aren't fit to be fathers to a chimp.
Ow!
And she's right.
Yeah,
I feel like Lucy's reacting appropriately for once.
Right. Lucy, voice of reason, means like this is a dumb storyline.
Yeah, right? It's so dumb. I mean, I'm glad that it means that this little Nicky thing is almost over. This is the last we hear of it, but why did they decide to do that? It seems like they're just like, we're bored of doing this. Let's just fucking end it quick.
This isn't working.
Yeah. Everyone hates it. Let's just figure something out.
Everyone hates it. Do you think they knew people hated it? Were
Maybe.
they like looking at the message boards?
There were no message boards.
I know. How would they know it?
But maybe like the people on the show hated it. I wonder. They're like, why did we do this? Why did we start this? This is dumb.
Yeah.
I can imagine that. At this point, being like, do we really have to go back to this little Nicky's secretly demon spawn plotline again? Can't we just finish it somehow? That's what I imagine happened.
Yeah, that's good. Course correct.
Right. I guess. Better late than never. Same with this Marsh House situation.
Oh, gosh.
The little Marsh thing. We see a long line of Jeffrey's pictures of cars and models of cars and
a tiny little trophy.
And a tiny, kind of pathetic-looking trophy. What did he win that trophy for?
Probably for one of his cars.
You won it for his car? Like,
it's
you have a nice
show.
car?
Like
Car show.
Best in show car.
Show.
Yeah.
Drove to the Greenwood car show.
Yeah, maybe he did. People in Twin Peaks love to make really long drives for things.
Yes, so I'm sure people come from pretty far for that thing.
Yeah. All of the DeLorean owners from all around the PNW.
Aww.
It's really cool to see them all. And then we finally meet Jeffrey, who's wearing an Air Jordan Nike suit. Like the whole suit. Not just the jacket, but jacket and pants, tracksuit.
Yeah. He's got a real vibe.
That's a pretty wild thing for
he's
a
been built up
middle-aged
as
man
like
to be wearing.
Right.
Yeah, it's been built up as like
You know.
this rich abuser guy, and
Right.
then he's a real dork.
I know, he's such a dork and
I guess that's
so
the point.
friendly, you know.
Yeah, very
And
trusting.
so trusting, yeah,
Wants to
exactly.
hang out with James, talk shop.
My wife has told me lots about you, handsome young man. You know?
I've been hearing very good things about your work with Evelyn.
Well, we'll see how it is when you take it out.
I hear you're on the road.
Yeah, I will be soon.
No itinerary, no deadlines. I'm envious. Wish I was going with you. Maybe after I take her for a spin, we'll talk shop. Sounds like we have a mutual love. Cards.
Are we thinking that Jeffrey, like, did he actually never hit her?
I think that, yeah.
Yeah. Did Malcolm hit her, maybe?
I don't think anyone hit her.
Oh, it was makeup.
Yeah.
My big glasses. That's true. It did heal up real fast.
Mm-hmm.
She looked
Yes.
great in
It's
the
like
scene.
the next
Apart
day.
from her terrible
Oh
outfit.
gosh! All right, yes, this is the worst. She's in this whole episode.
You guys need to talk about the
It's
clothes.
so ugly.
Contender for the worst outfit in all of Twin Peaks.
It's very bad. I mean, first it's like head to toe gray. It's like
Oh, to me it looks kind of like a gross pink, like not Pepto-Bismol, but
Oh, that was like beige.
like a pale pink,
Oh,
like a
no.
beige-ish pink. Like the scum in your dishwasher.
I mean, it's not a nice color.
It's a very terrible color.
Ugh.
It's ill-fitting.
It's so
like a
bad.
ill-fitting
It's so ugly.
jacket.
Like the pleated skirt is such an upsetting length. Like first that it's a pleated skirt. It's
And
so
it's like-
bad, but it's so
An
long.
intense amount of pleats too, not
It's
just like the
like a-
regular amount of pleats. It went
Right.
it's extra pleats.
Like you think there's so much fabric that went into this skirt that's like a size 6 skirt. You use like a bolt of fabric with all the pleats and how
Yeah.
long it is. And then the like really ugly jacket.
The jacket is horrible. I don't even understand how it looks that bad on her.
Right.
It's cut like a box. With gigantic
Oh.
shoulder pads in it.
Okay,
What,
so it's like-
what are they doing?
It looks like they left the hanger in when they put it on.
Right.
Somehow. It's just horrible.
And it's also a weird length, like how it hits like exactly at the waist. It's just weird. But it doesn't come in or taper or anything. It's just like, it just goes to the
It's
waist.
just
It's
hang
like-
right down.
Like,
Oof.
oh God, it's so ugly.
I don't understand this choice. Like, whoever dressed people in this episode should be fired.
Yeah.
Like, she's supposed to be...
Like
seductive.
sexy and so, yes.
She's supposed to be like a femme fatale, sort of.
Yeah.
I know.
And
And
it's-
she's
it's
like an
this-
Amish
it's like-
woman in this
it's
like
like-
ankle length skirt.
She looks sad.
Yeah. She looks like she borrowed that outfit from somebody. I'm like, why is she wearing that? Like she's trying to convince James not to leave. So she
Right.
maybe that it's self-sabotage because she's starting to feel bad about setting James up. So she's like, I haven't worn this
I
outfit
think
in a while.
that was like a little bit of a look because it is very like Diane Chambers, like
Oh,
wore a lot
yeah.
of skirts like that.
She did have really bad clothes.
Yeah. I think that was a little bit of like a style at that time.
I guess.
Like I don't think it's ever supposed to look sexy, but like supposed to look elegant and sophisticated or something. So ugly.
Like,
It's like a suit.
It is a suit, really. It's so
Yeah.
ugly. Like I can't remember anything that happens in any Evelyn scene because I can't tear
Nothing
my
really
eyes
happens.
off. Yeah.
And it's just James talking. She's just sounds like we have a mutual love, and then she's like, I can think of plenty of things for James to do to keep him around.
Of course he'll stay. There are plenty of things I could find for him to do. Right, James?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
And she's like looking at James the whole time, like, yeah, you want to hit this again? And James is like, oh, maybe if you change your clothes.
And your hair. I mean, you get her in profile at one point, and she's got her bangs kind of like
Her swoop is bigger
jacked
than
up.
ever.
It's so weird.
Bigger than ever.
Yeah.
It's like most of her hair is just limp, but then there's like this swoop in the front that goes right up.
Yeah.
But it's not like all of her hair. It's just one little bit. What a weird time for.
Yeah, it's like
It was
it's
nuts.
Is that
like
the best hair they had?
it's like bangs
No.
without gravity or something else.
The best hair they had back then.
I
was
want bangs, but I don't want them on my forehead. I want them like this.
Yeah. That's what my hair looks like after I've done hot yoga. Audrey has the best hair they had back then.
Shelly's got great hair.
Shelly's hair is amazing,
She's
and
a
Norma's
lot.
hair is really nice too.
I thought Donna's hair looked good in this
Okay,
episode.
all right, so it's just Evelyn.
Yeah, it's Evelyn.
It's not you, it's Evelyn. Ooh. he drives off to take the new Jaguar for a test drive, and Evelyn watches him go and imagines the car crash, I guess?
I think it's imagined.
Because otherwise it seems like he crashed immediately, but no one reacts, so...
Right, until like 2 hours later.
She just knows it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Because she did something.
She did something that's gonna take a long time to work. Seems difficult.
I don't know.
It does. I don't know what
How did she sabotage that car?
She didn't cut the brakes, probably, because...
That would have happened very fast.
Yeah.
He would have instantly had a problem just getting out of the driveway.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she put like a slow leak in the transmission or something. I don't know. Who knows? We don't really find out.
Yeah, they don't explain it very well.
No.
Right.
I mean, I guess I'm glad that we don't spend any more time with these people.
There
We never see
can't-
Jeffrey again.
There can't be anyone that cares about this storyline.
What were they doing? What happened?
I don't have an answer for that. I wish I did. They wrote themselves into a corner with this.
I don't know. I think it's the opposite. I think somebody was like, stretch it out. We need more Twin Peaks.
Yeah,
And
for sure. Like,
okay, well, little Nicky storyline, the Evelyn storyline.
Yeah, it was really just like we need
like
to
22
follow
episodes.
James. We need to know what's going on with James. And he's not in Twin Peaks.
We
We have to have a whole world for him outside of Twin Peaks.
We need a plot line for James.
I think it was supposed to be like sexy. There was that one episode where a lot of people were getting action.
That's true.
And even the Ben Horne resolution, his whole Civil War reenactment.
Yeah.
I guess that's why this episode is not that great, is because they are wrapping up the 3 worst plot lines.
Yeah.
In Twin Peaks.
I guess of the 3, like the one that makes the most sense is the Evelyn one, because it's a standard noir plot. You know, someone seduces someone and tricks them into killing their spouse or something. Like that's
soapish.
It's soapish, but it's also noir too.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what Twin Peaks is. So this one is just so badly done.
It is. It's a real shame. I would love to have seen this done by 2017 David Lynch.
Oh, yes.
He could make it cool.
Yeah. The Lana plotline is also incredibly stupid.
And that is not over, unfortunately.
Really? It's not?
No, that goes on for a while.
Oh my god.
She sticks around till the end, really, because she's
she's
I know
the Miss
she's
Twin
in-
Peaks.
Yeah, we've talked about this. Like, I think they needed somebody in Miss Twin Peaks, apparently.
Yeah.
And that's why she's even in the show. Well, this plotline doesn't make any sense.
I know.
And we'll talk about it, I guess.
Yeah,
we'll get to
we'll
it.
get there.
Let's tell everyone what the plotline is.
First, we are going to the double R for another terrible scene. Where Ed and Doc Hayward are talking about Nadine.
Nadine wants to start dating boys. I don't know what to say.
Is she sexually active?
Active? Doc, I wake up every morning feeling like I've been hit by a timber truck.
One of the best storylines in this episode is that Nadine, Ed,
Wait, she's not
Norma,
even in. We
that
don't even
triangle.
see Nadine, though.
I know, she's not in it, which is too bad.
Because she's the best thing about this plotline. She's
For
not even
sure.
there. They're just talking about her and saying terrible things.
Is she extra adrenaline?
Well, it's downright dangerous. And she's liable to kill a young kid. I don't know what to say.
Be patient. And, tell her to be home by 9 o'clock on school nights.
Ed makes no sense about, Nadine's going crazy with her crazy sex drive, and I feel like I got hit by a truck, and it's like she's gonna kill a young guy. What?
Right?
Yeah. Well, it seems
That
like...
doesn't make
an
sense.
old man sword after she fucking... Imagine what will happen to a strapping young athlete.
Right, yes. That doesn't make any sense.
And then I also feel like, I know Hayward is talking about James when he's like, it's hard being a parent.
James is out west a couple of hours, trying to clear his head, I think, and Donna's taking him some money.
Not easy being a parent, is it?
Boy, I'll say.
But he's also talking to Ed as if Nadine is his child. Like, tell her to be home by 9, and is she sexually active? Like, that's what you ask.
Yeah.
That's what a doctor asks someone about their child. Like,
Right.
So that's gross. I don't love that.
Right. I really don't
Very
like this
patriarchal.
scene. Yeah, it's gross. Right. Like,
And then it's just really
Ed is
funny.
not a parent to anybody. He's,
No.
you know,
He has
like...
no children.
Right.
Maybe he's sort of a father figure to James, I guess.
Sort of.
Yeah, but like, I mean, he's not his...
Yeah, I guess he is a father figure to James. He's like, I sent him his $12.
Right.
There, I did it.
Yeah, I gave it to Donna. Said I think he
Wait,
went...
what's the deal with the $12?
That's
his savings. He calls Ed and is
And
like,
he
send
says,
me everything in my
savings
savings and
account.
extras. That's
It's
only $12. And then the next scene, he's got an envelope to give to Donna.
That wouldn't cover the gas it took
No.
Donna to drive the van out there.
Right.
I know. It's dumb. He's not a good parent. Even if he is the closest thing James has
What
to
is the
dad, it's like,
$12 going to do for him?
not much. It's not going to get him all the way to Mexico, I'll tell you that.
The ocean.
In this scene, Ed does seem to move forward with Norma. He's like, let's
Let's get a
let's
cabin.
get a cabin and some wine.
I think it's time I start correcting a few of the mistakes I've made.
Well, we could start by getting a cabin, a couple of venison steaks, and a bottle of sparkling wine.
People will find out.
Very strange that he
Seem to
says,
move forward with Norma.
let's get sparkling wine.
Mhm.
What a strange thing to say.
Well, he's not going to get it from champagne.
I guess not. I mean, I guess he is a stickler for the terminology.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want you to call me out later and be like, this isn't champagne.
It's like Boone's Farm.
This is all
Yes.
No entrees in
And
this.
venison steak. It's very specific.
Yeah.
Which I like. I like it's being very... This is the meal.
I would hope
Picture
that it's something they've eaten together before and enjoyed, and that's why he's saying this. And that's why she's so into it. It's like, oh yeah, that reminds me of another romantic time we spent or something. Or he knows she loves venison, or I don't know.
It is pretty annoying that they're always like, well, Hank's in jail again, so what do you say?
That's true. It's always about
And
Hank.
he's like,
If
oh,
Hank's around or
and
not
Nadine's
around.
gone crazy, so I guess the path's clear for us.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you always complain about. They don't seem to have any
true.
agency. They're like, well,
Right.
they're, out of the picture, so let's
Right.
do this
Yes,
thing.
you don't have to wait for someone to go to jail or go crazy to end a marriage.
You really don't. But they don't know that.
And I'm fairly certain this doesn't actually progress because they still haven't gotten together by the time the return has started.
It doesn't.
Right.
As soon as they tell Nadine that they're getting back together, she snaps out of it.
Yeah.
And is like, what happened? Because she doesn't want Ed to leave her. I mean, it's fair that she doesn't want Ed to leave her. She loves him, but he needs to let her go.
Yeah.
Because it's not good for her. As we have mentioned. It's not good for her to keep her trapped in a marriage for 25 years when he doesn't love her. But
Right.
that's just the kind of chicken shit it is.
I hate Ed.
It's tough being a parent. Also, Doc Hayward would not know shit about being a parent because
Right.
he's never at home, and who knows where two of his daughters are at any given moment. Tell me where, oh, where is Guston? Nobody.
Yeah, well, they get to check back in with...
We check
with
back in with Gersten, and
Gersten.
she is a fucking
and
mess.
returns.
She probably could have used a good father figure.
Yeah.
Her dating choices suggest that she might have had some daddy issues, or absent daddy issues.
How come the return didn't have another Donna for us? We could have
I
had,
know,
like, a
third Donna.
I don't know, that's one of the questions.
Donna?
It would have been nice to have a third Donna, or even the second Donna, because I love Moyer Kelly.
Yeah, Donna but Donna.
Yeah.
There's always one Donna.
Yeah. I wonder why not more Kelly.
I don't know. Back at the Marsh house, James is packing up to leave. It's daytime, might I add, when he starts packing. Evelyn goes into the room and sees that he's packing and tries to get him to stay, and there's like a baseball game or something going on. So
On the radio,
like when
right?
there's a little bit of their tete-a-tete, it's like, what a shot.
Yeah.
Are you leaving?
Yeah. What's wrong?
Yeah, it's kind of like Meatloaf.
It's a little bit like Paradise by the
Paradise by the
Dashboard
Dashboard
Lights.
Lights.
Like a non-sexy version of that. They're fighting, not making out in a car. But
Well, she's trying to make out with him,
she's
but he won't
yeah.
because it's wrong.
It's wrong.
Right. Love isn't wrong, James. She's so weird.
Back in Harry's office, Coop is giving Harry the lowdown on Windom Earl and why chess.
Because Windom Earl and I played a game every day for 3 years. He felt that all of life could be found in the patterns and conflicts on the board. Because I never beat him.
Yeah, Coop's
Coop never
pretty
beats
bad at
Earl.
chess
Have
if
you
you played every
a
day for
game
3 years.
regularly with someone that you never lost to?
Right.
Like,
I
well,
would
keep
never do that. Every day for 3 years.
Stop
Like,
playing
why are
with
they
this.
doing that?
Both people should stop.
Also, chess is like kind of
Takes a-
tedious, you know? It takes a while, yeah.
Can, I guess. I mean, apparently, Coop's so bad, he probably It's like
Right.
checkmate in 5 moves for Windom.
I think we're supposed to think that it's really more that Windom Earle is that good at chess, and Coop respected him, I think. So they probably, conversed. He was Coop's mentor.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
He didn't know that this guy was a psychopath at the
Coop
time.
should have gotten better at chess, is all I'm saying.
Yes, he should
There's
have.
no one who's so good at chess that in 3 years you couldn't pick up enough to, win a game.
Right.
Maybe he was being hyperbolic when he said I never beat him.
I don't
It
think
just
so.
seemed
I
like
feel
that,
like
but
he'd
if
know
you
if he
checked
ever
the
beat
historical
him.
ledger, you would see that he
Yeah.
won every once in a while.
That's why you keep a historical ledger.
That's why you do.
So you
So
can be
then
like, Windom,
That's
Windom,
literally
Windom,
why we
Windom.
started keeping historical ledgers in all our games, is because Andy was always like, I never win this game. And it's fun to see that
Right.
sometimes...
You're exaggerating.
Sometimes Andy... Don't exaggerate.
Manslaughter.
And then Coop also explains his affair with Caroline, who was Earl's wife.
She and I fell in love. I wasn't ready. I was wounded and I lost consciousness. When I came to, she was in my arms. She was dead. She'd been stabbed.
The wounds on the vagrant.
Identical.
And he believes that Earl killed her and also did whatever crime she witnessed that she was in witness protection for.
Right.
And then we see Caroline for the first time, her little angelic face, black and white, with the red lampshade behind. Looks like red curtains.
Ooh.
They're really setting the scene
Yeah.
for all that lodgy stuff with the owls and the flapping plastic and the red curtains.
Yeah.
And they're introducing the chess motif. That gets very tiresome, but unfortunately...
Yeah. These are the good parts of Twin Peaks.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I think they're trying to convince us that Windom Earle is a good part of Twin Peaks. It's kind of a tough sell to have a fresh bad guy,
Mm-hmm.
after the resolution of Leland.
And I feel like he never quite gets there. He never is quite as effective as they want him to be.
Like I said, it was really tough.
Mm-hmm.
It was really tough to beat the solving of that crime.
Yes.
Now you're introducing another bad guy who's going to do more crimes, and it's just very different. It doesn't feel as good. And I was just now thinking, maybe they did all this soap opera counterpoints to this to be see how much better this is than everything else we're doing on the show. And maybe to sell it a little bit, just by comparison. Everything else in the show is this kind of soap opera stuff that nobody really cares about. But you should care about this, and we're going to use all of the directing talent we have to make these scenes better than the soap stuff.
Maybe. Huh. That's a good
I don't think it's
theory
very
about why
I
they
don't think it's
chose...
very successful. I'm totally stumped why they spent so much time on these really dumb plot lines.
Right.
I mean, Lynch wasn't into it either.
Yeah, I guess that's
This
the
is
answer.
about the time when he
This
was
was
I gotta go do some other stuff.
This was a network decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are on your own for a while.
And then we'll finally come back to the Black Lodge to
Yeah,
resolve.
Windom Earle's a Batman villain in a lot of ways.
He's a
which
lot
doesn't
like the Joker,
fit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He just loves elaborate plots and costumes.
God, I know.
He's extra, as you said.
He's so extra.
And that's every Batman villain is extra. He's
Yeah.
And it also just always surprised me that Coop knew him so well, and he was able to manipulate Coop, and Coop never got a bad feeling about him, or
Right.
it's just hard to believe that someone as psychic and intuitive as Coop would not know that this guy was murdering people.
Also, you're psychic and intuitive. That should help playing chess. You're playing chess with the same person every day. I mean, that's part of chess, is trying to anticipate somebody's moves. So
It's just to build
none
them
of his
up.
stuff works with Windom Earle.
Right.
Yeah.
Wyndham's immune to Coop.
Yeah.
Right. They're just trying to show us how
Yeah.
somebody could get the better of Coop.
Which he will.
He sure will. I like Coop's line about, you don't know how bad he is. He says, you don't know.
You don't.
I think he feigned the insanity that sent him away. But at some point, he lost the ability to distinguish between what's right and what's wrong. You don't know what he's capable of, Harry. You don't know.
And then we get a new kind of spooky tree, that North Bend fog tree.
The fog.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go to Wally's hideout. And I kind of like this scene, even though Evelyn is so annoying. It's kind of the most fun you can have with Evelyn and Donna.
Right.
And finally, Donna's talking
James
to
Hurley.
someone besides James. She's talking about James, but
Yeah.
at least she's got a new scene partner. That's nice for Laura Flynn Boyle.
I'm looking for someone. What's his name? James. James Harley. You know him? He did some work for me recently.
What kind of work?
He fixed my husband's car.
And her suede fringe jacket is not as bad as some of the other things I've seen her wear. And standing next to Evelyn, she looks like a fucking supermodel. Evelyn perks up right away when Dawn comes in. I think she knows immediately who she is.
Yeah, it does seem like it.
What kind of work?
James Hurley.
Oh, also, Brugos, you wanted to know where this bar is. It's called the Santa Susana Cantina.
Wow.
And it's in Simi Valley, California.
Whoa! Oh, surprising. Simi Valley, weird.
They didn't want to go back to Washington, I guess.
Is that the inside or the outside?
The outside.
Okay.
And the inside
The interior
is probably a soundstage. Almost all the interior is
really
outside the pilot.
I thought it looked like
and special episodes.
like a real bar.
But I know they have a lot of interiors and sound stages. They probably welcomed the business.
There's only one scene in this place in the whole show, so
2 scenes.
Okay, 2 scenes. So it seems like a lot to have built that set.
So maybe they went back there for that. I'll find out which it is for when I edit. Editor's note: it was a sound stage. So Evelyn tries to convince Donna that he's already left town and he's gone to the ocean.
Mexico. Something about the ocean.
Even though there's so much ocean between Twin Peaks and Mexico, but on the other hand, Donna's like, that tracks.
Yeah, that is like a dumb thing James would say.
Yeah, Evelyn's just trying to be
like when James said his mom lives on the West Coast, and it's like, that's where you are.
I know. Yeah, we all do.
Right. So, yeah, I feel like Evelyn really got James's number there. Like, something about the ocean, Mexico. He does not know geography.
And Donna's like, yep.
Right.
I was in geography class with him. He's really bad at it.
But she doesn't believe her. I mean, she's sitting right there under the tree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Smart. Donna did a smart thing.
Oh, maybe she's the MVP.
Ooh.
It's hard to find an MVP this episode.
It is. I don't think I have one yet. And then, just real quick, we shoot back to the Marsh house where James is acting opposite a post on his motorcycle. He's just so aggrieved that he's in another stupid fucking
so emo, yeah.
Just lots of hands and bouncing around.
Yeah.
Physical.
So this is even before he realized he's being set up.
Yes.
So he's just
angsty about.
He's angsty because
it's wrong.
This married woman is in love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
He could just leave.
He absolutely could. He'd been packing. He should
be.
He was gonna leave.
He had his wrenches laid out on his seat of his motorcycle for some reason.
Were those his wrenches?
He said he was checking on his bike. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. It's like he wouldn't have just gotten on his bike and gone with his wrenches. Maybe he would have. Maybe that's the only thing he brought with him.
He brought some wrenches.
He knew he might have to work on his bike.
His bike tools.
Then the next scene is the Great Northern in Ben Horne's office. Jerry has arrived from wherever he was, and Audrey tells him that Ben is marching on Washington. I hate this scene
I hate this
so
so
much.
much.
So bad.
Right. At least Jerry is not into it. I hate Jacoby all the time. And this might be my... God,
he's sitting in like a tennis referee's chair above what's happening.
He's up so high.
Did he bring that chair with him?
Writing notes for some reason and cheering Ben on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's
So
also even the whole thing of
this
like...
behavior is quite healthy.
Right.
What he's doing is quite healthy. I mean, by reversing the South's defeat in the Civil War, he in turn will reverse his own emotional setbacks. What he needs right now is both your understanding and a Confederate victory.
Ugh.
I don't feel like there's enough focus given to Ben's mission is to like make the Confederacy win the Civil War.
No, I know.
Like this is the wrong that he has to correct. You know,
mean, the only reason it makes sense is because Ben is a bad person, and it's like he's learning the wrong lesson from his setbacks.
Right, but like Jacoby is 100% on board with this.
It's great.
It's not like Ben's a Southerner.
Right.
He's
like
got an accent all of a sudden.
We who fight shall be remembered. For our bravery, for the battle scars that we bear.
I know. Like, why isn't there any historical wrong they could have come up with that might be like a better fit or something?
Yeah.
Like an actual injustice that happened. Like, let's
Or something at least more ambiguous.
Well,
Right.
there was like that documentary about the Civil War.
The Ken Burns.
The Ken Burns one around this time, so it was just in the zeitgeist, I guess. I really feel like they're spitballing in the writer's room, being like, I don't know. What are we going to do with these guys?
Or is it just like someone's like, what's the historical thing that you know a lot about? And someone's like, well, I just watched that Ken Burns documentary.
Right.
So I remember the thing about blah, blah, blah. Jeb.
Oh my God.
Jeb Stewart.
I hate this.
His bullshit speech.
So
yeah, it's awful. They start to sing Dixieland. I think this might be, it's a very high contender for the worst scene in all of Twin Peaks.
It's really bad.
It's just, there's nothing to like about it.
I mean, it might not be the worst scene in this episode.
No, it is. I think it is. Because
I
the
don't
thing Annie said
know.
about how the Civil War did not need to be reversed. It's very offensive to suggest that the Civil War ended wrong.
Well, I think
there's
the
a lot of people who
scene...
think that.
There's a scene coming up with Jacoby that I think I hate even more.
Yeah,
but also, I guess there could be two things about this scene that I don't hate. Well, one, I do like that Jerry is just like...
He's sort of a stand-in for the audience.
Right.
Like, everyone else
he is just like,
along.
I am out, you know?
Yeah.
You really think it's a good idea for them to be carrying a sword?
And I guess it's sort of funny that Jacoby and Ben are like singing together because they were in West Side Story. That's kind of funny.
What was Ben in West Side Story?
Tony.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Me and Tony started the jet. So where is he? He always came through for us, and he always will.
Oh, wow, they were sharks together. Or jets together.
Yeah, when you're a jet all the way, so there you
Yeah.
go. Look, that's a callback right there.
They should have done... They should have had Ben reenact West Side Story.
Yeah, or like Romeo and Juliet or something.
And he
you
loves
know?
Shakespeare.
He's
Ben's
not
Shakespeare.
So they should have, they should have
reenacted Hamlet.
Well, no, I think Romeo and
Juliet.
Juliet, because that's what West Side Story is, and this time
That's a real tragedy.
she realized what happens. Romeo thinks she's dead, and she's not really dead.
Mm-hmm.
So then he kills himself, and then he's really dead, and she's alive, so she kills himself. So, you know, fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been really good. Why were you in that writer's room? I would have loved that. Because that is like the thing I don't like about West Side Story is that it's Romeo and Juliet, which is kind of bullshit.
It's just basically teenagers are too horny to think straight.
Yeah.
They've known each other 3 days.
Mm-hmm. And he murders her brother. The X-rated shout out.
It's a hard thing to overlook.
Yeah. But she has no trouble doing it.
Right.
She's like, he's really hot.
Right, we're in love.
But have you seen how hot he is? I'll mourn my brother later after I get boned.
I don't know if it's the same in West Side Story, but in Romeo and Juliet, the night that they meet, like Romeo is talking about some other girl that he's having trouble getting over. He's like, it's like he's like on the rebound even.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
his first romantic soliloquy is about Rosalind.
Right.
Yeah. It is a bunch of teenagers. I wonder if that was Shakespeare's whole idea. It was like, look how dumb teenagers are, and everyone was like,
I think so. Yeah.
You guys did not get this at all.
Right.
I don't know. Or he was just like writing for pay kind of thing. Like, write a romance. He's like, fine, here.
Teenagers being dumb isn't really the problem, though. It's okay for them to be dumb, except for, like the murdering part. It's kind of a problem.
And the like,
it's okay to fall in love really quickly and it's hard as a teenager.
Yeah.
But Romeo and Juliet, they are from families that have a grudge, whatever.
Yeah, they're from feuding families.
Feuding. It's the feuding that I think is the real villain in Romeo and Juliet.
Well, I feel like
people
it's
are not accepting of their what could be a stupid little fling.
But they both
become something else because it's a feuding family.
But also, they both kill themselves over it. I think that's a little dumb.
That's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't think they would have killed themselves if they weren't from feuding families. I think they would have just, like, hooked up, had a good time.
Yeah,
broken
okay.
up, and it'd be over.
Yeah.
Move on. Grow up.
That is definitely what the play suggested.
Right.
Yeah, they would have just had an unhappy marriage.
Right.
What? I
don't think they would have gotten
Maybe. Yeah, maybe they would have gotten married too
They
young.
would have gotten married together.
There is a better ending for Romeo and Juliet.
Well, let's see. I mean, like, what?
They run out, they get married too young.
No, but, like, what
It
even...
goes back to Paradise
Okay.
by the Dashboard Lights.
What happened with Romeo and Rosalind? You know, same thing.
Yeah.
Should have just been the same thing. Like, Romeo
She
should
killed herself.
I don't think she
No,
did
she
she?
just
She just dumped him.
Yeah, see? Great.
He should just be like, you
Get
know...
over it.
Yeah.
Get over it, guys.
He doesn't have a chance to get over it because everyone gets involved and it becomes this big old fucking deal.
Yeah, you're right. They wouldn't have gotten involved otherwise. They would have just been like, oh, it's Romeo.
Yeah, it's Romeo.
I love the recap. It's like this big old fucking deal. It's like when we were talking about Power of the Dog. Make fun of my paper flowers now, bitch. Like, that's my entire review of Power of the Dog.
Spoiler alert. Back at the police station, Briggs stumbles into the lobby and faints.
I need to see the sheriff.
Much trouble ahead. I like that.
Yes, and he is so right about that.
Mm-hmm.
Much trouble
As
ahead.
you mentioned, that's what he says.
I believe that during my disappearance, I was taken to the White Lodge. I can remember virtually nothing, but I have the clear, intuitive sense that there's much trouble ahead.
Lucy is, as you said before, she's just like, uh-oh. Somebody please help me fell on the floor.
I think the scene needed her to be like that because his stagger in was a little extra. Stagger in and then pass out right as he gets to her little window.
Also, why is he staggering in and then he's recovered by the end of the scene?
He had that glass of water.
The water. He's just so thirsty. It makes me think of when Windom Earl finally kidnaps him and gives him the haloperidol, the really weird stuff.
Yep.
I wonder if that's the kind of stuff that the Air Force is also working with, because they were interrogating him. Because apparently it gets you to tell the truth.
I see.
Yeah. But it also makes you woozy and weird and...
And they want to know about the White Lodge.
Yes.
Gentlemen, frankly, I'm worried. When my superiors questioned me about my disappearance, they exhibited a degree of suspicion and intolerance bordering on the paranoid. I must now admit that their motivation in the search for the White Lodge is not ideologically pure.
My favorite thing about Briggs is his continued disillusionment with the military.
Yeah.
I love it. Their motivations are not pure. I like the way he says paranoid.
That's really funny. Do they have a choice or just like a misspeak and then they're like, nah, we love it. We're not going to do that one again.
I don't know. I mean, there's a couple instances maybe it's just a one-take thing.
Yeah.
Girl Scout cookies.
Girl Scout
There's some
cookies,
interesting emphases in Twin Peaks that they just leave in.
Yeah.
Maybe they just like that. They're like, that's great. Secretly unsettling.
He just misspoke.
He just
He was,
misspoke.
he was either supposed to say bordering on paranoia or bordering on the paranoid. But if you combine those two, it ends up being bordering on paranoid.
Okay. I'll be in the shadows if you need me.
But I will return. Until that time, I will be in the shadows if you need me. In the shadows. You beat that?
No.
I also really love how when he gets in there, everyone is like, yeah, I'll have a glass of water.
Right.
More?
I'm wine.
Fine, Lucy.
Fine.
This is really funny that he has the water and then Coop and Harry was like, yeah, let's have some water.
That's a good candidate for fish in the percolator when they're all drinking water at the same time. It's pretty
They're
funny.
just like, yes. Really hit the spot with the water. Water's good. A lot of beverages. Coffee and water.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And sparkling wine.
sparkling wine, and Bobby and Audrey had something with ice in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beverages. I'm calling it a motif. And then Andy comes in and is like, I gotta show you something in the conference room. It's Jacoby who says he spent the last 24 hours with Lana, except that we know he didn't.
Right.
We just saw him without her at the Great Northern.
Right.
But I guess before that, he was with her and she showed him all about her sexual prowess or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, what she does, in fact, possess is a heightened sexual drive and a working knowledge of technique, anatomy, and touch that few men have ever had the pleasure of experiencing or the skill to match.
Is it hot in here?
Yeah.
I do not like this.
It's,
The
yeah.
less I think about this, the better. But what is happening here?
Right.
We have to talk about
Did
it.
somebody ask Jacoby to
do that?
investigate whether Lana is a...
Right. How did that conversation go?
How did any of this happen?
Like,
and
who put him up to this? Was it Cooper?
I think he's so...
Maybe. He says, let me be the first to congratulate you.
What? On what?
He's congratulating her on the fact that she's been cleared and Dr. Jacoby's
got laid.
I've just spent almost the last 24 hours with this charming young lady. And as you can see, I have no bruises, no broken bones. Any claims by her deceased husband's brother that she's cursed or somehow responsible for a death is nonsense.
She's just got a high sex drive.
Ugh, I hate this
And then
so
Coop is
much.
like-
I don't trust
And
Jacoby
Coop
at
is like,
all, and it bothers me
"Congratulations."
that Coop does.
Right.
I know
Cool. Well,
Coop
and then,
never liked Jacoby. I don't know why he's like, it doesn't make any sense.
right. Well, and then also, like, right after that, here's the guy with the shotgun who wants to kill her. You know what? Let's just put those two in a room together.
And let him
with
bring
the
the
gun.
shotgun.
Yes.
Why
Like,
doesn't he
what?
take the shotgun away?
Right.
There's just too many guns going on in that scene. I did notice the NRA sign again in this episode. Is it like the NRA, did they sponsor this episode? And they're like, you have to show this many guns?
Oh, there's a gun cabinet behind when they're having that scene with Briggs as well.
A lot of guns. I mean, I know it's a police station, whatever, but like, why did they draw their guns to go back into the room?
Yeah, that was really weird.
That is pretty strange.
Yeah.
What could they possibly have needed their weapons for at that point?
Well, they let him go in there with a gun, which
They
they
should
should
have just taken his gun away.
They should have just done
Right.
that.
Yeah, he was
And
not
then they just waited.
using a lot of gun safety. He was just pointing that gun at Jacoby
He was pointing it all over the place.
as he was
Yeah.
walking past him.
It doesn't make any sense.
I hate this scene even more than the Confederate scene,
Me
which
too.
is saying a lot.
Is this supposed to be funny?
I guess. I don't know.
Right. Also, what I hate about this is like they brought Lana in to be all the men are just falling all over themselves for this beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are beautiful women all over Twin Peaks, you know? It's like you guys see Audrey and Shelly and Josie and Norma every day,
Right.
you know?
It's not just that she's beautiful. There's something supernatural.
Yeah,
At
but
least
it doesn't
They
translate.
suspect that there is.
Right.
And I think
Maybe there
Cooper
is.
thinks there is because he's like, let's put them together. He's not going to kill
He
her.
somehow knew
Right.
that she would be able to work her magic on him. I mean,
Right, that's what we're
It's
supposed
just
to know
dumb.
about what's happening here.
Yeah.
That she has some sort of magical power.
She's bewitching.
Yeah.
But Coop doesn't think it's a nefarious thing.
Right.
And it's not exactly nefarious, but she later on she's like, I want to win the Miss Twin Peaks pageant, so
Right.
get the judges to vote for me. So it's not cool, but
Right.
It's not
Is
like
all of this
evil.
just to give us some idea that she could win the Twin Peaks pageant?
I
Like,
don't
who cares?
know. I don't know. I don't know.
Why?
I don't know why they thought they needed yet another cute lady in this town, because we got plenty. We want to see more of the ones we have already.
Right.
It's funny that they had all this history of Twin Peaks, and some of these characters are part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the brothers have
There's
all this.
so
like,
much about them.
There's an interesting story about them that we don't learn any of it in the
Yeah.
show. It's all in like supplemental materials.
Yeah.
Instead, we spend our time doing this.
Right,
And,
like
it's-
all the theories from the secret history about
Mhm.
like how she might have been a secret agent and like Dougie's past working with Project Blue Book and all
Right.
that stuff. That's all really interesting stuff, and we learn about Project Blue Book on Twin Peaks, but they're like, no, let's just do this ridiculous thing. Like the way
Right.
that Dwayne talks is like always reminds me of Statler and Waldorf.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do kind of like Dwayne. I think Dwayne is pretty funny.
Fellas, I've got an idea. Why don't we let Lana and the mayor talk things over together, alone? I don't want to talk. I want to shoot. Now, Dwayne, you can always shoot later. Talk first.
Saying he doesn't want to talk, he wants to shoot. It's a pretty funny line the way he delivers it. It's something that tickled me when I saw it in college. I remember that line.
He's a bit of a muppet of a man, which is kind of
Yeah.
endearing, but you don't need it though. Also, while they're waiting in the hallway, there's a sign on the bulletin board that says, Mom and Dad, I use drugs.
Yeah.
Did you
So
see that?
strange.
I saw that.
Yes.
I like that.
That was pretty funny.
What is that sign promoting?
Right.
Tell your parents if you use drugs.
Or if your parents ask your kids if they use drugs. I don't know.
He's so much like Dougie. I just feel like my husband's been brought back to life.
Well, I've been lonely and selfish. I hope you'll all forgive me for my boorish behavior.
And then we cut to a phallic totem pole at the Blue Pine Lodge.
Yeah, we get a lot of totems.
Yeah, it's first the phallic totem pole, and then just some regular totems. It's, I'm sure, on purpose, like, look at
Yeah,
this
it's a
big
dick.
And we're at the Blue Pine Lodge.
Because we're just coming from
Everyone being
the
horny.
seduction.
Everyone's got a boner.
I see. Yeah.
Everyone in the last scene.
I didn't pick that up.
Really?
Wow.
I didn't think it was at all subtle.
It doesn't sound like it was. I may be just having a hard time paying attention to
Maybe.
Right.
You're like, ugh, I can't look at this anymore. Pete is yelling about...
We forgot the weenies.
Oh, weenies.
Yes.
Hot
Exactly.
dogs.
Hot dogs,
Okay,
erect penises.
we're still working on dicks.
I think erections are a motif. Weenies, the totem pole, Coop and Harry touching dicks when they're drinking coffee.
That's true, that was unusual.
Then Catherine comes in with a fun little monologue. Have you ever asked yourself how I survived the fire? Only to win back the mill, blah, blah, blah.
Have you ever asked yourself how I really survived after the fire? How I was able to marshal the resources necessary to defeat Benjamin Horne and win back the mill?
Now that you mention it.
You know, these two are such good actors that they are pulling off this fucking soap opera shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, Pete and Catherine Martell are really good at the soap opera stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
Piper Laurie is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm not always on board with Catherine's shenanigans, but I think she's such a great actor.
Yeah.
And she always goes for it. They both
Right.
always just go 110% in every scene.
Good old Pete.
As you can surmise, I had my brother Andrew's help.
Now let me get this straight. You didn't die in the boat accident.
We didn't tell you, Pete, with apologies much delayed, because you didn't need to know.
Like when Pete has to say the line, "You didn't die in the boat accident." Why is that a line?
I like who tried to push the button on you.
Who tried to push the button on you, Andy?
Yeah, that's a cute way to say that.
Like
and
the way he calls Andrew Andy. It's
Yes.
really cute.
Andy,
It
yeah.
Sort of like
He probably
lets
would.
you know a lot about their relationship.
They've known each other for years.
Yeah.
Since they were all scampering up trees.
Right.
And I love that Andrew says good old Pete, because I feel like that's what you would say when you see Pete.
Right.
Like, that's
Yeah.
everybody. Everybody's reaction to Pete. I bet it was hard to like be in the shadows and not hang out with Pete. He does have he has a good rapport with Pete, as we'll see in coming episodes. That's what I would miss the most when I fake my own death.
Hanging out with Pete.
Just hanging out with Pete.
Oh. So you were talking about your real, and I was like, your brother-in-law? I don't know. It's surprising.
Yeah. Even though they're such good actors, this is boring. This is like Thomas Eckhart.
Yeah. Boring.
You get it. Thomas Eckhart wants revenge. And he's coming back for Josie. And then we're at the Great Northern where a clerk whose name tag says Randy Meyer, but then in the credits he's listed as Randy St. Croix.
Oh, little name change for Randy.
Maybe it's his maiden name.
He's checking in a lady, and she's the assistant to Thomas Eckhart.
Eckhart. Thomas Eckhart.
Welcome to Twin Peaks.
They were just talking about him.
I really like Randy's smile. I think he has a very nice smile. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
We'll see him one more time, and he'll be wearing the correct name tag at that time.
Oh.
Thomas Eckhart doesn't seem like a nice guy.
No, I don't like
You
him.
got that shot with the fire.
He's not
in his
nice.
glasses.
Yeah, he's maybe literally the devil. He's responsible for Pete's death, inevitably,
Right.
which I don't like at all.
No.
I know the lady's name is Jones, and she will later try to seduce Harry before trying to
gosh.
strangle him. Pretty chaotic move.
Just spitballing. Just throw it all, see what sticks.
Something to look forward to.
Then we see the scary falls. The music is scary as we see the falls, so it makes the falls scary.
It
I
seems like a close-up that we don't usually see, where you
It
can
is.
see like the mill on the other side of the
They
falls.
definitely went back to North Bend to shoot
Yeah.
new shots of the front of
Uh-huh.
Great Northern and the falls, which is always exciting when
Yeah.
that happens. And I think they got that shot of the trees with the fog while they were at it.
Mm-hmm.
And probably the exterior at night of the police station when it was raining, because we haven't seen that one before.
Yeah.
They just
These
got
are
some
all new
on-location
shots.
shots. That was nice. That was nice of Uli.
Uli.
Uli Edel.
So maybe while they're there, they found an interior of a bar. Because I swear that interior of a bar looks familiar to me.
Really?
Maybe we've been there like on our camping trips or something.
It does have a very Clay Ellum vibe to it.
Yes.
And then we're back at the station where, unfortunately, Doc Hayward wants to talk to Dick and Andy.
I
hate
this
this
scene.
This scene is barely tolerable. I mean, I feel like Warren Frost isn't even enjoying this. He's got a lot to say.
Yeah.
He's kind of rattling through the speech. It's such a sad story, but the way he's telling it is not sad.
Right.
He's just like, Nicky's nameless mother who was raped in an alley, and then she told me she was pregnant, and I was like, whatever. He called her the poor wretch. That's just,
Yeah, I hate this
that's
so
not a very
much.
sympathetic thing to call a person.
Yeah.
Right.
If they were making this over-the-top soap opera background plot thing, like, they should have made it funnier somehow.
Yeah.
Really make it like a soap opera with, like, weird zoom-ins and
Or
musical
like, it should have been,
cues
he really did kill the parents. Who cares, right?
Right.
That would have been funny. If it was like a Bad Seed. Have you ever watched The Bad Seed? That movie's really funny, you know? Like,
It is. It's really funny.
Yeah.
That's a camp classic.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that would have been better.
It would have been. Also, he says that the boy dragged his parents from the
How did he
burning
do that?
wreckage.
How did he
How
do
did
that?
a 6-year-old boy drag two
He's a
adults
future
from burning
Windom
wreckage?
Earl, right? That's.
I believe Frankie could have done that for us.
Aww.
He would
But
have.
would he?
Yeah, he would.
He could have. But he declined. And then we also learned that Doc Hayward delivered Dick.
Yeah.
Dick, I did not drop you on your head when I brought you into this world. Don't give me cause to regret that.
And then he's like, don't make me regret not dropping you on your head. Like,
Right.
What the fuck?
so weird.
You're
really
not
not
supposed to do
that.
that.
Usually you drop them on their head, they don't die. You know, it's kind of like...
They turned into Andy. He probably did
yeah,
drop
exactly. Andy, he did drop on me.
Right.
And I
And
don't
Lucy.
regret it.
Everyone else in this room I did drop on their head. But not you, Dick. So I expect better from you.
Yeah. I don't know if we mentioned before that Dick went to Eton College in England, and that's why he has an accent.
Ah.
Meanwhile, at Lucy's desk, Coop is telling Harry he needs his help, and Coop says like a really uncharacteristically unhelpful thing.
I need to ask you a favor.
Harry, let's get one thing straight. I work for you now. You say drink coffee, I'll drink coffee.
Why would he say drink coffee?
So strange, right?
You'd have to stop drinking coffee for him to say drink coffee. And then Harry shows Coop an article that looks like it was Xerox.
It's the greatest headline in newspaper
Asian
history.
man killed.
With double exclamation points.
Yeah.
This is from the Seattle Times.
He doesn't say where it's from.
Okay. It looks like...
There's no byline.
No.
It looks like they made it in Word and then printed it out, which is probably what they did.
Post-intelligence.
The Post-Dispatch is the fictional newspaper. I hope not, because that paper is nuts. If that's the case. If you pause
It went out of business.
It was, yeah. This article is wild.
a couple of quotes from this article. Decisions will have to be made of the actual planning of the product will take considerable time, but it is felt that these steps are very important.
It is felt.
Thus, at this conference, all our governments found themselves in unanimous agreement regarding this undertaking.
It's like many, many paragraphs that say nothing.
That's it.
Like,
It's just nonsense.
It's really
like
funny.
free association, we need some content.
yeah, something that sounds like news.
But don't
It
spend too much
doesn't-
time on the
yeah.
headline or anything.
Asian man.
And definitely...
Insane.
Found
Asian
dead would
man.
have been maybe like
Right.
reasonable, but Asian man killed! Exclamation point!
Or
exclamation
body of
point.
Asian man found. It's Asian.
I mean, Asian at all is, like, problematic. Why even bring that into it? Just say man, unknown man found dead or something? I don't know.
It's real weird.
It was like they needed that prop right away and no one had started working on it yet. So they're like, quickly, somebody...
The thing that says that the Asian guy's dead.
Is this good?
Yeah.
It'll have to do. We have to start shooting right
His
now.
job isn't on a set to make these sort of.
There are people
Prop
that make props,
Prop
but they
people.
have to remember to tell people to make them. This has all the vibe of, like, we forgot to tell people to make this. And we had to do it on the fly. This is a PA made this for sure. I'm sure that's what happened. A PA, like, slapped this out.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's complete nonsense, though. So
Yeah.
it's not even like they wrote a bad article about Asian man killed.
Right.
They took something from something else.
Yeah.
Right, but like many
public domain
something
nonsense
else's,
words.
They
yeah.
probably
Or just
grabbed the
like
newspaper
grabbed
and
it, yeah.
typed out sentences from random articles throughout the newspaper.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's really bad.
It was very funny.
Yes.
I laughed a lot.
I recommend reading the whole thing.
The headline,
Every time.
yeah.
You'll laugh a lot. And then for some reason, there's another picture blown up of the guy, as if they couldn't tell that it was...
So we can know it's Cousin Jonathan.
Well, they're
Mr.
saying,
Lee, her
it's Cousin Jonathan. So we don't need to see it, but that's...
Well, remember who Cousin Jonathan is.
Josie told me she got away from him.
You think Josie has something to do with this?
I don't know. That's what I need you to find out.
Mr. Lee.
Josie's assistant. That's how Sheriff Truman knows him.
Yes.
As Josie's assistant.
Mr. Lee.
Oh, and the other thing to say about the scene with Doc Hayward telling Nicky's backstory is that at the end of the scene, Lucy smacks a fly and it is
so
filled with blood.
Yes.
Yeah. That must have been a mosquito.
A really full mosquito.
Like a mosquito that's feasting.
Yeah.
It was very gross.
It was gross.
And she knows it was gross.
She's
too.
like,
She's like, what?
Yeah.
It was an unexpected amount of blood.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's probably like a prop thing where she just didn't know it was going to do that. She's like, that seems like a lot of blood.
Really?
Maybe.
You think she actually like spurted a bunch of blood with a prop?
I think that somebody probably handed her a fly swatter with some
With,
gunk
like-
on it. And they were like, swat it onto this paper.
Okay.
And she did that, and then she was like, whoa, I didn't know I was going to do that.
It's like a squib.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably was literally a squib with black stuff.
That's pretty funny.
Once again, we have to go to the Marsh house, though.
But this
where
is
has
James's
been packing
funniest.
for hours,
Yes.
apparently. He's back in his room, still packing.
It's his really funny line delivery.
It's also funny when she comes in and says, "You're leaving," as if they didn't have a similar conversation
Right.
earlier that day.
You're leaving?
Can't stay here.
I don't understand.
It's wrong.
Because I'm married?
Yes.
Yeah, this is like your favorite James moment of all time.
Yes,
right?
this is my brother and I were rewinding this and watching it at this scene. It's wrong!
I can see it. It's a little
And it's
bit like
yes.
The Room.
Right. Well, he yells like, "It's wrong!" And then she goes, "Because I'm married." And he's like, "Yeah." So his vibe changes so weirdly.
Maybe the yelling was a little much.
Right.
I'm going to dial it back.
Yes.
Yes. There's been an accident.
This car.
Yes.
You killed him.
No.
My God, you set me up!
It was Malcolm's idea.
Jeffrey's dead.
James
You
works
set
this
me
out
up.
surprisingly fast, I gotta
Right.
say. For James,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he set me up.
He doesn't doubt his work for 1 second. He's like, if that car crashed, it's because you set me up.
Right, but a car crash can just happen not because of a tampered vehicle, you know.
Right? Perfectly working old car can...
He can get into
a car
there's so
accident.
many ways you can get into a car crash. So
Yeah.
it's also that he works out that the car crashed
Right.
because it had been tampered with in some way.
Yeah, it's very surprising.
Yeah.
But he does work it out, and I guess Evelyn's having a pang of conscience, so she tells him to sneak out the back, and Donna's waiting for him.
And I guess the thing that I hate about this is that we've had 2 exactly the same scenes that did nothing
Right.
Yeah.
to move forward the plot. And then he somehow makes this intellectual leap that he is not capable of making. If anything I've seen of him in the past is holding true.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna do this plot, like, do it. Like,
Right.
leave some clues for him. Have him suspect this.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just, like, not knowing and then knowing. Like,
Yeah.
Right. Or like, why did they have this plot and not have it work? Like,
Right.
okay, they set him up
And-
to take the fall. Why doesn't he end up taking the fall? Like, that would have made more sense of like why they even did this whole thing at all.
Yeah, the spooky tree transition to Leo walking through the woods. There's that owl. He finds a cabin, and Windom is inside.
It's all right. I'm a friend. You look like you've had a very hard night.
He's so empathetic to Leo at first.
Mm-hmm.
Leo's not in great shape mentally. I feel like this is the first time we really get an inkling that, like, he's not okay. Like, he's not fully recovered or anything. He's just conscious now, but he's not really speaking in full sentences, and he's not okay. He's never okay.
no.
His brain is damaged. Permanently damaged. But somehow he's in just amazing physical shape.
Right.
And then, Annie, the first time we watched this, you noticed that Windom was wearing his wedding ring still.
Oh gosh, I forgot
Which I
about
think is
that.
interesting.
Interesting.
And then wind blows through the window, blows out a lamp and some leaves onto his fancy-ass chess set.
Right.
He brought so much stuff.
He does have
cabin.
so much stuff
He's got,
with
like,
him.
a full costume wardrobe.
He has
back
like
there.
a spirit Halloween
Oh
back
my god,
there.
it's
It's
I can't wait. I love it.
Numerous flutes and... Must have driven a full van there.
Yeah.
A kit to make a gigantic papier-mâché chess piece.
Yeah.
Right.
Must have some flour and newspapers. And then that's the end of the episode, finally. Thank God. Motifs. One motif I noticed, I think, is like just tragic backstories told.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As much as I hate the little Nicky tragic backstory, that just fits the motif, and then Cooper tells his tragic backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess that's it, but
Yeah.
two is a motif.
Yeah.
Do we know yet about the baseball?
I mean, nothing comes to me of like a double play. I mean, unless it's like thinking it more like a double cross.
Yeah.
You know, like not literally baseball or so like who got
Right.
played twice or who played two people. Like, I don't know.
Oh.
You know.
Well, Lana played two people.
And then Evelyn kind of does, I guess, with what's his name? Like, he's not my brother, Malcolm, you
Right.
know. I mean, I'm sure it's not really part of Malcolm's plan that she tells James, go,
Right.
get out of here,
Right,
you know.
that's true. They were definitely leaning heavily on the baseball with those two.
Right.
We learned that both of the Packards have faked their death
Yes. That's
That's
right.
a double
so that they
play.
can get revenge.
That's a double play. All right.
I guess in a way,
we
yeah.
worked it out. As much as anything ever fits the title.
Right.
You know what else I noticed about the diamonds, actually? Because there's two owls, and then in the owl cave symbol that we see later,
Right.
there's a diamond in the owl. Like, the owl is a diamond. So maybe that's part of it, is just setting the scene for that.
Yeah, like you said, they're trying to get those images into the show, you know, with the flapping curtains and red
Yes,
lamp.
the red lamp.
Right.
Yeah. All right, well, that works for me. Let's get some awards.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Roadhouse is proud to welcome
Ceiling Fan Award.
There's nothing that scary.
I'm going to go with the slow motion waving plastic. I find that scary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Evelyn's hideous outfit.
Totally fair. That is.
I don't usually go with a jokey one, but that one was. I just can't. I can't even.
I think it's legitimately terrifying.
It's pretty bad.
It's upsetting. What about you, baby?
I think the bloody squashed bug. I know, nothing was too scary. I do think the Leo scene was the scariest scene.
Yeah.
With Shelly.
That's a cool scene, though. I like the way that's shot.
It's a good scene.
Very cinematic, a little bit of a horror vignette.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The fish in the percolator.
There was a fish in the percolator.
That's an easy one for me. It is Asian man killed.
That was the biggest laugh for me.
That's a double play. The two exclamation points on there. Like, when are there exclamation points in newspaper headlines?
Never.
Right? Like that's.
Only in like old tiny newsreels when
so
they're like,
crazy.
"Whoa!"
Yeah, Dewey defeats Truman. Does that even have an exclamation point?
The PA's never
Does
read
it?
a newspaper in their life.
Yeah.
Even though they were probably looking at one when they made this
right.
It's pretty funny. I picked It's Wrong.
That's
I know
really
you're like
very
really
good
used
choice.
to that, Annie, because you rewound it so many times, but
right.
It is
It's
very
really funny.
Yes.
Yes. All right, yeah. Even Dewey defeats Truman didn't have an exclamation point.
Wow, really?
I
What
just
about
looked it up.
anything about the Hindenburg?
Oh, the humanity.
I wonder if there was ever an exclamation point in any headline ever.
I just typed Hindenburg headline. Hindenburg explodes at Lakehurst, 35 dead. There are no exclamation points.
Only 35 dead?
You can't fit that many people on.
I mean, the Challenger only had 7.
I was showing
5
Frankie
Challengers.
video of the Hindenburg, and it had like giant swastikas on the tail. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah, that was the era.
Wow.
It was a German Nazi blimp.
Is that why there's always blimps in dystopian movies?
Yes.
They're like, because
the Nazis died.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never made that connection before.
Me neither.
Wow. Interesting. LVP.
Another easy one because it's Jacoby, because I hate him so much, and I hate him a lot in this episode.
That's pretty terrible.
He's really bad in this episode.
Yeah, that's a great choice. I hated him. It was close between him and Doc Haywood, though, because I also hated Doc in this episode.
Yeah.
He's super annoying and just, like, wasting my time.
Yes, that was my pick.
Oh.
Doc Haywood. I don't feel like he's not even enjoying himself in the backstory scene. Like, I really feel like Warren Foster's like, I'm sorry I showed up today.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
I feel that. I think he was just, like, not up to the challenge of really hamming up a expository soap opera scene.
Yeah, it's hard to sit through. No one enjoys it. And then he shouldn't even be there in the beginning.
He should have asked Piper Laurie how she would do it, and then done that.
Ooh,
right, yes.
Yeah, he should have.
Because she would have delivered that in a really entertaining way.
She would have made it compelling somehow. She's great with props and stuff. Actually, I forgot to mention a moment I really liked, but she's just caressing Andrew's face.
That's very weird. That's your brother.
Yes,
It
that's
reminds
weird.
me of Lula. That sometimes she just touches
That's true.
our kid.
Yeah.
She strokes me sometimes.
She strokes me sometimes
Yeah.
too. Yeah, she likes to cuddle.
They're close. They're very close,
Yeah.
these two.
We got a lot in common.
Yeah. All right. MVP.
I don't think there's a lot of valuable players in this, but I guess I'm going to go with Briggs because he doesn't do anything bad. And I mean, he's as much trouble ahead. It's the only thing that has anything to do with what's actually going to happen, you know.
Absolutely.
I think Shelly is going to be my MVP this time.
Ah,
I really like that
Yeah.
scene. She's really terrified. And the scene where she's kind of like hiding behind the refrigerator and looking for Leo is very scary. And then like a jar of jelly explodes like 6 inches from her. Like that would have been frightening to film. Like,
Right.
Yes.
So does somebody, I don't know how they do that.
The precision of even throwing
Does
that.
somebody throw that? Maybe that person should win the MVP because they didn't hit her with a jar of jam. They threw that so hard.
Yeah.
It shattered. It like wasn't lobbed.
Well, I wonder
It
if
was
it
like
was
shot out of a
really a
cannon.
jar.
You think it was just
Maybe it was like a bag or something.
bag of jelly
And
and,
then
they
they
made
put the
a
sound effect.
jar breaking sound
I can't
effect.
imagine David Lynch being on board with throwing glass.
Right.
Yeah. it seems not safe.
Yeah.
He loved her. He called her Madgekin. His little nickname for her.
Aw.
He's a very protective person.
Aw, I wish I had a nickname from David Lynch. Nickname giver.
He calls Laura Dern Tidbit.
I know.
That's how you know you're really in with David, is when he gives you a little nickname.
I'm a chronic nickname giver at work.
You do.
Well, it's more like riffing on someone's name. Like, there's a kid named Cruz, and like every day I have a different name for him. I love it when we're cruising together. It's more like a Chris Berman.
No. You're doing like a play-by-play.
And Faye is when I cannot stop with her. Hey, Faye Ray, Fade and Away, Fatal Attraction. Like, I
Fatal
cannot
Attraction. Yikes.
You don't know. All right, you work with kids someday and tell me, say weird things, okay?
I say weird things all the time. I will
Great.
definitely
Well,
say
you
weird
would
things.
multiply it by 15 if you had,
Yeah, that's probably true. Well, gosh, I was going to go with Briggs,
Ooh.
too. For the same
She
reasons
always
you
copies
mentioned.
me.
But I'm not going to copy you. I'm going to copy my husband.
Suck it!
I do love Machen so much, and she's really good at acting scared, and she's great at crying in scenes.
Yeah,
she's
she's
got some
really
tears at the end.
Yeah, that stumble over the wheelchair is real epic.
It
It didn't look fake at all.
I think they might have been a stunt person.
I hope so.
You see her from behind, you see her approaching the wheelchair, and then when it cuts to the front with the wheelchair, you just see a person in a robe falling over it. You don't see her.
Oh, you're ruining like Hollywood magic for me.
Well, let's find some magic. I'm sorry ruining it for you, but...
That's pretty great.
Yeah, it's seamless, so...
Yeah. When she's trying to get out, the key's not in the lock.
It makes me sad that she was never, like, a final girl.
Oh, yeah, she would have been good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She would have helmed a Nightmare on Elm Street movie like nobody's business.
Oh,
She should have done more.
Yeah.
She should have been in more things.
Yes.
For sure.
I agree completely.
Really
Really Weird Stuff is hosted by Annie Malone and Jessica Baxter. Music by Julie Cruz, Angelo Badalamenti, and Jessica Baxter. If you enjoyed Really Weird Stuff, please take a minute to rate and review us on your favorite podcast app. Follow us on Instagram at Really Weird Stuff Pod, on Twitter at Really Weird Pod, and on Facebook at Really Weird Stuff Podcast. Thank you for listening.